Well, ladies and gentlemen, how's it going today? Well, I'm feeling wonderful and delicious, and 29th day of March. Happy Good Friday. Who the hell are you? Got tomorrow off. I could have worked. No, you know something? My lower back is killing me. I'm going to get Good Friday off. I got to work at the airport this weekend. The old job that I was going to be terminated asked me to come in. The other one hasn't called me in yet, so I'm like, I'll work both until one decides to do what they want to do. Run all day today. Lovely day in Minnesota. Good snowstorm. I believe that was Tuesday. Wednesday, where the hell it was. Second one was worse than the first one. But, yes. Welcome to the Cowpoke Podcast. In the car, on the fly, on Thursday. Remember, April 1st is coming up. You know, people who do their what do you want to call them? Their April Fool's jokes. I know KQ did one time, a long time ago. They said the smoking ban was reversed, and people were putting ashtrays back on in the bars, and you believed it because they heard it on the radio, right? But anyways, shout out to the military out there, you guys, away for the Easter holiday. Your service, domestic and abroad, we appreciate it. We always do. Your service on this podcast and my family don't go unnoticed. Without you, I'm speaking German or Japanese, and I'll be eating Reubens all the time. So, but yep. I'm going to follow up on my other audio version of the Jeff Dubay saga. Like I said, I've met him before at Oak Ridge Country Club, and his brother I met too as well. And before the backstory, he backed to that job when Jesse Ventura, I was a Navy SEAL. You look at my thumbnail, it's a picture of me and Jesse Ventura in New York City. And it said, Jesse, can I have your picture? I don't have time. Like, when do you have time to bleed? Looked at me. I go, it's my birthday, man. Fidel's birthday, too. So Jesse Ventura ran for governor, and him and the personal ass licker, Paul Allen, backed into the job, and Jesse became a one-term governor. He did not run again because he knew he was going to lose, okay? Anywho, so Jeff Dubay was found out there off of 94 out there at Advon, and that's that small town. I can't remember. I've been by it. It's a dairy farm, dairy city, and he was in a church parking lot trying to get the Gophers hockey game on, right? So cops saw, he radically pulled him over. He was covered in vegetable oil, naked, with a towel around him. So he's been in this problem before. He's had plenty of problems. He lived in the basement of some do-gooder and brought home some other do-gooder, and it was porking her in the basement of the do-gooder. Women are like that. They never give up on their boyfriends. Moms never give up on their children. Like Bruce Springsteen, his dearly departed mom, who died a couple months ago. So on Broadway, women don't give up on their children. Okay, my mom would give 2 Fs. All right, but he was a big shot. He was a big shot here in the great state of Minnesota. You know, KQ92 funny fired Tom Bernard the way he treated everybody and never hired and fired. And 93X is good, you know. Nick, you know, complains that he has a tough job. I would tell Nick, lean in and listen. Since the day you started that job, you worked a day in your life. Like I said, Calm Man, all he does is just talks the morning. Remember, an easy job. Talk sports. Get a contract. Say, I'll take that money. Collect your check. Work 4 hours a day. Do voiceovers to go places and whatever. I know 93X is going to be at downtown at what's that restaurant? I mean, that bar. It used to be Archie's Bar off 11th. Whatever the hell it's called. But anyways, so all that behavior here in town. The radio business is still viable. I mean, it's not that tough. Steel Toe Tard Show, talked about before, Aaron Manault Try to accuse some lady of the double G hard R. I know there's been some change at 107. The two ladies are leaving. That stalker guy stalked that one lady out of a job. Should have been executed. People get overly involved in YouTubers and also radio people. But he had a dick job. Effed it up. Tom Bernard wanted to give him a job on his platform. Required a drug test. He wouldn't do it. KCP had him for a year and cut him loose. Cost kind of thing. We just got the event. Realized he was just nonstop reoffending, you know. But he pled guilty to his drug problem, meth, whatever else. And he, in my mind, got a hall pass. He will die with his mouth open. Someday, unfortunately, I will see. The next time I see him will be an obituary. They gave him credit served, whatever else. He needs to go to a 1-year sabbatical and sweat all his. I guess he before tried to lock himself in a room. As they say, find new roads, you find new friends. I mean, you know, you got to want to quit doing drugs. You want to, you know. I drank a lot of beer when I was younger. My dad told me either you find a way to quit your alcohol, or you're gonna have a judge tell you, right? So let's stop doing here. I'm trying to pull people over, I think, whatever. But stay at 30 miles per hour through here, so he's probably trying to get somebody, trying to pay the bills in town here. But Jeff Dubay needs to have his needs to get into rehab, and he needs to move on to something more substantial. It's a hall pass. If he wants to save Jeff Dubay's life, he needs to put him in a group home, as far as I'm concerned. He can work, be picked up, brought back, searched every night, make sure there's any drugs. Because mark it down, 29th day of March. Now we have free marijuana. You know, marijuana now is you're going to be buying it pretty soon. You'll see a lot of people dying their mouth open because let's say I was a drug dealer, I can go buy it now. Go buy it in Colorado, whatever, and grow it, and then you lace it. There'll be a lot of people dying of all kinds of weird drugs problems here in town with marijuana because now you're going to lace it, right? You want people to come back. You know, the first one's for free, right? And I'll say before, I'll say it again. Melissa, a friend of mine on this podcast, I've argued with her on the podcast on Fear Mongering Radio. Sorry, marijuana is a gateway drug. I get it. I've smoked geef, I call it, cents a million. I remember Tom Bernard had a lady on her show a while ago, 6, maybe 7, and they talked about the percentage now. And then out in Colorado, guys were jumping off bridges. All this is 20%. Back when I smoked dope, it was 5%, 10%. You know, the more higher you get, the more you want, right? It's never enough sex, right? After a while, I was drinking 2 beers a day. You're drinking 6 beers a day. But you'll see a lot more abuse of drugs when marijuana, you can simply go buy like a cigarette. You know, plain and simple. It's never a good enough high. Never a good enough high. Never enough. It's called the wild boar. That's what I would tell Nick this too. Well, if he really likes baseball, he needs to do a whole week down in Florida, spring break. Tom Bernard should have done that instead of going to Vegas. If I was 93X, you really care about baseball? I don't think they'd listen to this podcast anyways. My wife was pissed at Nick. He was calling people's wife's old lady. If I called my wife old lady, she'd rip my nuts out. But if they were smart, they would go down, and Tom Bernard would take his podcast down there and do a whole week, his podcast at spring training. But he mainly likes Pumpkin Bowl. That's what he likes, which is Punks by Pumpkin Bowl. But I think he got a hall pass. I think Jeff Dubay got a hall pass from the judge. Too chicken to just say, listen, you're going to go to jail, you're going to go to rehab, and you're going to be a group home, and I'm going to try to save your life. But he'll probably die with his mouth open. He's back on that road to drugs and stuff. It's too bad. Like I said, I had a chance to meet the man. I met his brother. You know, I always liked him. He had great on the radio. It was a lot of fun. Him and the personal ass licker. He was a hockey geek. And I don't know, it's a shame to see this, but he needs court-ordered rehab, and he needs to find new friends, like I did when I was 18, 19. Didn't hang out with people that drank. I don't run with poor people. I don't run with poor people. I don't want to be poor. I run with people that don't break the law. If you run with people who break the law, you're going to be a lawbreaker. You're going to go to jail. You surround yourself with good people, you'll have a good life. Mark Cuban, like I said in the last one, he only ran with people with money. That's all he ran with. That's who he runs. He's not going to run with me. If I win the Powerball tomorrow, the hunch, Donald J. Trump, the unselected 147, would love me, right? Because I have money. What's his name? Playboy guy who passed away. Hugh Hefner. Probably the ugliest guy in the world. Could be sitting up there right now. Let's say he's 80 years old. He's still alive. Sit up there at Wild Boar tonight. He's just basic Hugh Hefner. No one knew who he was. Just some old man drinking, right? With his captain hat on, right? But why they like Hugh Hefner? Because he had money and he had women. You know, he always had women recruit more women for him. Sex parties at the mansion, right? But it's too bad. Jeff Dubay needs to find new friends and really decide he wants to quit being a drug addict and do something more substantial. But they don't want to waste time in the courts, I guess, or the jails, whatever else. You know what's going to happen? One of these days he's going to be driving around and he's going to have an accident. And he's going to kill somebody. That's going to happen. Then what do we do, right? Then what do we do? But I don't know. Been the biggest problem with Jeff. For some reason, again, his friend gave him some meth, and he's never be able to kick that dragon, chase that high, right? I don't know why. I mean, I get smoking dope, but if you need to smoke marijuana to get out of bed or go to bed or function, then you have a problem. Nothing wrong on the weekend. Let's say I'm single, go home and have some geef. I want to smoke some air on the weekend, have at it, man. But if you need geef to function, like meth does, and rot your teeth out, but like I said, you watch as pot becomes legal, people will start buying it, start growing it, and start lacing it. You'll see a lot of people with fentanyl. They'll put it in the marijuana. You watch. But I think it was a hall pay. They gave him credit time, whatever else. Slap on the hand, whatever the hell he's going to get. No big deal. He moved on to something more substantial. Not a big deal. It's too bad, but it is what it is, man. You know, you're gonna go around, smoke your marijuana. You're gonna do what he does. It's stupid. I don't think 93X talked about it. I know K-Fan wouldn't talk about it. You know, I try to get a hold of him because he used to have a podcast on here on Spreaker.com. Have him come on the show, but he's not. I think he had a Twitter account. I reached out to the guy, but love to have the guy on. You know, you love to. If I was single, you take him under my wing, and he can live in the basement. You know, if you have a job for the guy and say, hey, listen, you're going to be clean and sober. He'll have periodically drug tests, but he'll just continue on. He doesn't have anybody that cares about him. Just some do-gooder wench that will take him in and, you know, oh, I'm doing Jeff Dubay a favor. And meanwhile, banging. They want to do a favor. Send him to jail. That's what they need to do. But they won't. They won't send him to jail. Too ballless. You have to have the balls the size of basketballs as a judge and do what's right. Because sooner or later, he'll do two things. Either he'll murder somebody on the streets, or he'll take his own life with his mouth open. He'll purposely OD on something, just feels he has nothing else to live for. He'll die in some one-bedroom apartment somewhere. And, he'll die a young man. With, he had a good chance to go national. He was a very kind of guy when he was, I know one time he got in a little kerfuffle with some referees one time over at Mariucci. One time he was pissed, but it's just kind of stupid. But he was a very knowledgeable guy in hockey. Remind me a lot of Chris Ranson from draftutopia.com. If you ever want to have someone come on your show about the NFL draft, look up draftutopia.com, Chris Ranson. He'll blow your socks off. You want to have someone come on a real radio show and break down the first round? He's your man. draftutopia.com. I mean, I talk about NFL. I have an NFL, NHL podcast on Spreaker. Not a big deal. I did an NFL with my friend yesterday. We talked about stuff. It's not that tough to be a podcaster. Just got to have good sound. I'm in my car. I got a $5 headset. That's a good headset. Closed mic, boom mic. Problem with these people, they come on these radio shows and they have shitty mic technique and they're open mic'd. It's dumb. But Jeff Dubay, man, you really, 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 really have to pull your head out of your hindquarters, man. You really do. You've got to find somebody who gives two rips about your ass. Find new friends and get clean and sober, man, because you will die with your mouth open. And I really can't feel sorry for that. It happened one time here in town. A couple was in the front seat of their car, 2 kids in the back, and they died with their mouth open. Both children now are orphaned because mom and dad made poor choices with drugs. If having children doesn't give you the motivation to go straight or to be straight, then you're an idiot. It's a problem in this world now. Having a baby is like going to the bathroom, not a big deal, right? But I always said, just being a radio show guy is such an easy job. That's why Common Man's over on KFan. He knows it. All he does is just, whatever. I mean, like you said, I like Common Man. He's always just been. I don't take myself that serious as a podcaster. I drink sometimes during my podcast. Just sports. I don't talk fantasy football because I don't live in my mother's basement. I talk laundry baskets. I don't put names in the back of sweaters and jerseys. I don't do it. I don't like pumpkin bowl. Baseball's like paint drying. I mean, actually, one thing about baseball, I've been bitching about baseball moving along for the last 12 years. Bitching and bitching and bitching. Finally doing it. Enough is enough. But still too slow and too long. You need more doubleheaders and expand the roster to 35. So, but I don't know. What do you do, right? I'm going through downtown Hopkins here, heading right by the old Archie's Bar there. But I just, Jeff, you need to go cold turkey, and the judge, you didn't do him any favors by just doing a hall pass on him. You needed to make sure he went to rehab and put him in a group home for 2 years until he kicks it. But sometimes judges are just too much of a, what's the word, a do-gooder, bleeding heart. But I don't know. It's a shame because he was a very talented radio guy, some good athlete that just doesn't apply himself. Jordan finally applied himself after he learned to pass the pumpkin bowl. Because when he first came on the scene, he would rather pass a kidney stone instead of pass the pumpkin ball. Same thing with the Mile High rapist. What the hell's his name? Kobe Bryant, right? Finally kind of said move the ball around, But wherever you are, Jeff Dubay, call the show. Love to have you on. But need to find new friends, someone that cares about you. And, don't run with drug addicts. Don't run with poor people. Don't run with criminals. Don't run with sex addicts. Don't run with people that cheat their wives or their husbands. I befriended a friend of mine who cheated on his wife. I knew her real well. Said, no, I'm not going to be your friend. You're cheating on your wife. I don't do that kind of behavior. But you are who you run with. My dad always told me, you are who you run with. But in closing, Jeff, you screwed up a really, really good, easy job. Something that was very simple to do. But you had to take that drug from your buddy in the basement. Instead of just saying, no, I don't want that drug, and then leave the house and never go back again. But I have a feeling the next time I read about you, Jeff, you're going to be in the obituaries. You're going to overdose. And then I'll blame him and also the judge, especially if he kills somebody or murders somebody. And then we have a problem. So anyways, you guys, Good Friday. I don't work at either job. And, well, I always say he has risen, right? Easter's coming up. We're already be April 1st. State Fair is what? 4 months away? Sorry, Monday? Good. Oh, my goodness. Opening day. Have a hot dog a foot long. Ketchup for bad manners. Mustard and onions. But anyway, remember the Cowboy Adventures out there too as well on YouTube. So we appreciate everybody out there. We really, really do. One of my favorite dogs is outside. I bring her the biscuit, peanut butter biscuit. A guy at work gave me one. And we'll give her a biscuit. She's a Bernese Mountain Dog. Such a good dog. Anyways, guys, remember the military out there? Out there working hard for us, you guys, during the holiday season. Away from your families. Make good choices in your life. You are your choices. Don't drink and drive. What do we always say? Practice safe sex. Put a condom on. That's all we're asking. That's all we're ever asking. Prevent unwanted pregnancies. And, Nick, you got the easiest job in the world. Quit bitching. The easiest job in the world. All right?
Just remember, man, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky.
Hey, man. And meet your kind, man. Smokes and geek, man. Mighty Python and the Flying Circus. I'll see you guys all later.
Yeah, you guys, man.
My name is Barack Hussein Obama, and I approve this podcast. Tell you what, you guys, I talk to you guys all. My name is Tony Ballino. Goodbye and good night.